Welcome to How AI Transforms Business, a new series featuring Microsoft customers and partners who are transforming businesses through the power of artificial intelligence. In this episode, we feature Davide Roverso, Chief Analytics Officer at eSmart Systems. Headquartered in Norway, eSmart Systems develops digital intelligence for the energy industry and for sustainable smart communities of the future. David is in conversation with Joseph Sirosh, Chief Technology Officer of Artificial Intelligence in Microsoft's worldwide commercial business. Let's dive right in.
Hello, I'm Joseph Sirosh. I'm the CTO of AI in the worldwide commercial business at Microsoft. And with me, I have the pleasure of hosting Davide Roverso, Chief Analytics Officer of eSmart Systems.
It's my pleasure.
David, would you tell us a little bit about eSmart Systems and yourself?
Yeah, eSmart Systems is a relatively small startup, Norwegian startup. It was established in 2013. And the main area in which we work is building SaaS software for the energy and utility sector. So basically it was founded by a group of people that have been working together for over 20 years in the energy and utilities space. They were first working a lot on power exchange software, and actually delivered the power exchange to California, among others. And then about 2012, they went for a kind of an exploration trip to the US, to Silicon Valley and that area. And they visited Google and Amazon and Microsoft and Cloudera and tried to find what were the new biggest trends. And they came back home with the clear idea that they had to focus on cloud and AI. And of course, they used that in their core business that was in power and utilities. So that's how eSmart System started.
Great. And so you have an analytics team, or now is it an AI team?
Yeah, well, actually, we have 10 data scientists. So we are about more than 10% of the company is data scientists. So we have a big focus on AI. When I started in eSmart Systems about 3 years ago, we were just two. So I built quite a good group since then. And we use machine learning in a lot of different areas. Two main areas are specifically time series analysis and predictions, and the other is more on analyzing images. We use that for inspecting, for example, power lines with drones. So a lot of
It's very interesting. You must have a lot of interesting projects. So tell me, in the power and utilities industry, where is AI used?
Yeah, well, we work mainly with DSOs, so distribution system operators, which are kind of responsible for distributing power to the end users. And up to a few years ago, they were basically operating blind because the lowest voltage network is not instrumented. But since the introduction of smart meters, so every home now, well, in most of European countries, they are rolling out smart meters, and the same in the US. So every home now has basically a sensor. So now suddenly they have a much more data they can use to more intelligently steer the grid. So their AI we use mostly to make predictions of loads and consumption from different types of customers, both households and industry customers. And this is very important information, especially now with the large introduction of distribution energy resources, so all the renewables that are coming online. A lot of people are installing solar panels on their roof. So a lot of end users are now what we call prosumers, so they both produce and consume electricity. So there is a two-way flow of power and also of data. So there are a lot of opportunities to kind of optimize this new kind of smart grid that is being more and more widespread now.
Very interesting. So what are some of the most exciting AI applications that you have seen now in the power industry and what you're doing?
Well, we are developing some very exciting applications in the space of inspections. So there we're combining AI with drones because nowadays, of course, the electrical infrastructure is relatively old and requires quite a lot of maintenance and inspections. And so far, these inspections have been done mostly manually. So periodically, other people actually walk along the lines and climb up the poles and check infrastructure. The last few years, they have started using helicopters, so they fly helicopters with quite dangerous missions because they have to be quite close to the power lines. And every year there are reports of near incidents actually in helicopters. So it's quite an expensive process, but it's of course necessary, and even more necessary as the infrastructure ages even more. So the idea here is to use drones to, of course, have a cheaper and more cost-effective inspection. And here it's very exciting to use all this new technology that we have today for image, kind of this image intelligence that we have with deep networks and convolutional neural networks. So recognizing infrastructure, recognizing different type of faults and anomalies.
So let me understand this then. So you're saying AI is used to analyze the images that the drones are capturing,
yes.
So that you don't need humans to spend that much time looking at it.
Yes.
That's an example. Okay, very good, I see. And so how do you use the cloud?
Yeah, all our systems are basically deployed in the cloud. So both the kind of the smart meter, smart grid systems, they all collect data from smart meters and upload everything on the cloud, and all the analysis, all the machine learning and AI happens in the cloud. And the same for the drones. Well, there are different missions. If it's a kind of periodic inspection, then it's not so time. The time is not a big issue. So you can analyze these images in batch, and then we use the cloud for that. So we upload can be hundreds of thousands of images and process them in the cloud with the scalable architecture.
Good. Yeah. So what is that advantage? What is the advantage that cloud brings you? Cloud and AI together.
Well, it's scalability. So being able to, regardless of how many drones or how many pictures our customers are sending to the systems, we are able to serve those. And
you're instantly able to provision as much resources as you want. Okay, that's very good.
But also edge is very important. So it's not only cloud,
it's also the intelligent cloud and intelligent edge.
Because if you are on a mission for finding a fault, so to find an outage as quickly as possible, then you need intelligence on the edge on the drone.
Right.
And you also need that if you want to have autonomous drones, of course, because today we still don't have fully autonomous drones, so you still need a pilot that remotely pilots the drone. But of course, the longer term vision is to have fully autonomous drones.
So have you developed prototypes of autonomous drones that can follow power lines?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So they follow power lines and then position itself in the optimal spots to take the correct pictures for the detailed inspection.
That's very interesting.
So the drone is not doing the detailed inspection that happens in the cloud, but is using edge AI to localize the components, the assets that we need to inspect, and take the right pictures and then move to the right.
Is AI scary?
Not today, but it can be in the future. You know, you probably read Bertrand's book Superintelligence that came out in 2014, I think. So he envisioned like a superintelligence that will take over, and we will not even notice that because it will come so fast that we don't realize. But that is a long time away. But anyway, there are important kind of, so today there are kind of philosophical and ethical questions that are important to ask ourselves. There are big institutes both in the UK and the US that focus on that, so that's very important. But there are today's technology is actually enough can be kind of weaponized in a way. So it's there is that kind of scary side of it of using AI without ethical controls for autonomous weapons. So there are also initiatives there trying to. In my opinion, there should be a kind of international agreement on how to control autonomy.
Right. But all technologies are the same way, I would think. Of course, yeah. Great. What are some of the most exciting AI developments you have seen recently?
Yeah, well, of course, all the developments around kind of visual intelligence, as I call it, so all the analysis of images, segmentation, detecting objects and things like that with deep neural networks and convolutional neural networks and all that, it's very exciting. And one very exciting application is, of course, self-driving cars. That's, for me, is very exciting, and I use it a lot as an example in my presentations because it's both showcases these developments, technological developments, but also it's an application that basically touches almost everyone. Everyone drives a car, at least in the developed world. So it's one of the applications that will come, that we will feel much more quickly than other ones. But of course, all the developments around language, speech and speech recognition, all these new intelligent assistants and bots that are coming on there, it's a very exciting development. From the research point of view, I kind of like a lot of all that is happening around games and gaming. You know, in AI, you know, we both started working in AI in the 90s, and at that time, kind of, well, since the beginning, AI has been applied to games, you know, from checkers and then chess and Deep Blue beating Kasparov in '97, and then more recently, of course, AlphaGo. So,
AlphaGo, yes.
And AlphaZero is more exciting, and now the latest one with OpenAI playing this
Dota 2,
Dota 2. So that's so it's a very nice way of developing new concepts and new AI. It doesn't have direct applications in the real world, but it develops kind of fundamental capabilities that real world systems are going to need.
Right, very good. Any thoughts about the applications of AI outside of the power industry, some of the most exciting other areas that you might be able to go into? Yeah, well, basically all the work that we are doing, both on around images and inspections, is applicable to other all types of inspections. Yeah, you know, one thing I heard sometime recently was about inspecting for lightning strikes on aircraft. And they were looking to see if you can use AI to identify, because today, again, somebody has to climb the airplane and go look at spots and see if there's been a lightning strike.
Or inspecting like pipelines.
Inspecting pipelines.
Railways.
Correct, yeah.
Any kind basically of infrastructure.
Or even bridges, assets, even counting assets. And that was one thing that I heard, which was interesting.
There's almost limitless amount of applications.
It's very exciting. Any concluding thoughts on AI and its applications?
Well, it's very exciting times. I've been working in AI for 30 years. Finally, we see a lot of traction. And we see an explosion of applications, interest, and money that's coming into AI. And the real applications that are both helpful and exciting. And
do you think AI is being democratized, made available to software developers much more recently?
Yeah, definitely. Today, basically, anyone can experiment with AI. Maybe it's still difficult to make an application that is kind of production ready if you are not really a data scientist, because you can fall in many places where you can make a lot of mistakes if you don't know what you are doing, but you can experiment and generate something useful in much easier way than before. So there's been a lot of progress around that, and there's going to be more progress. I cannot even say the years to come, just the weeks to come.
Yeah, right. Very good. Wonderful. It's been a pleasure talking with you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
That concludes this episode of How AI Transforms Business. We hope you enjoyed it. For more information about Microsoft AI, please visit microsoft.com/AI. For more information about this series, visit aka.ms/AI Transforms. Thank you.